DreamWorks had a clear but simple message in this movie. When you're so good at being bad, sometimes you gots to also do something good. The Bad Guys was directed by Pierre Perifel in his feature film debut. Also written by Ethan Coen, not to be confused with the Coen brothers that have directed and written many, many movies that many people enjoy. He did movies such as Tropic Thunder. He's a writer, disguised as another writer, playing another writer. And he also did Men in Black 3. And he did Holmes and Watson. That's a nice 1, 2, 3 punch, isn't it? Well, actually, Men in Black 3 wasn't all that bad, but nevertheless, that Sam Rockwell is the biggest goddamn star of the cast. That should tell you right there when the movie's released in 2022, when Sam fucking Rockwell is your biggest star. Maybe you probably should have thought this thing through. Mark Maron is in this as well. Aquafina, spelled in the dumbest fucking way possible, like somebody had a Scrabble salad and decided to throw it up. Craig Robinson, the black guy from Hot Tub Time Machine, also from those Pizza Hut commercials, and Anthony Ramos. They are the bad guys. Sam Rockwell is the big bad wolf. The big bad wolf, not going to say anything more, just in case Disney people happen to be perusing YouTube to see if they can get somebody for something. He leads a group of criminals that are animals also, and they're scary, scary beasts that always pull off great heists, and they tease the cops of the city. And after getting caught doing one particular heist, they are charged basically with either going to jail or Professor Marmalade, an adorable, adorable little guinea pig that does everything for good and does so much for charity and everything. He has an idea to reform them, and he comes up with this way to reform them and help them to, have this charity gala go off without a goddamn hitch. But then something weird happens, and suddenly the bad guys have to be the good guys and clear their name. So this came out in theaters a few months ago, and I didn't bother to see it because I wasn't really all that impressed with the trailer. I didn't really laugh at it, and I was like, okay, the animation style isn't great. Some of it looks cel-shaded. Some of it looks like it should probably be from, Baby's First CGI Window Maker, but nevertheless, when I saw this dropped on The Cock, I was like, okay, I don't have to pay for it because I pay the monthly subscription, so why not watch it? And within 20 minutes, I was thinking, they made this a full-length feature. This had no business being a full-length feature. I did not laugh once, and I do not understand how people like this. And if you like this, by the way, that's great. If you got kids, I'm sure kids will really like it. But it's a very simple story that is stretched out to its motherfucking limits at 100 minutes. This thing had no business being maybe more than 80, 85 minutes. Give you some clarity, the original Space Jam was like 85, 86 minutes at the most. Other animated movies that were by Disney, this is from DreamWorks, and let's be honest, DreamWorks' animated movies are hit and miss. I mean, there's The Prince of Egypt that was a good idea, and then you also realize, geez, that's a really dark subject to put in animated form and market to kids. But nevertheless, the bad guys, well, the big bad wolf realizes that maybe they could use their, heist abilities and the fact that they're such bad guys, they could use them for good. They could use these abilities for good and actually turn over a new leaf. And also, there's a governor character that is also a fox because of fucking course. And from there, we have a movie that is the bare bones of a goddamn story that isn't very fucking good. The friendship dynamic of it is fine, if not simple, and it's, I guess, endearing if you have sustained several major head injuries, but to me personally, this just wasn't good. It wasn't funny. It was way, way too stretched out. It was way too simplified. This had no business getting as much money behind the animation as it did. It did not deserve a theatrical release. It seems like a movie that should have gone straight to streaming. And again, might I add, the comedy wasn't very good. I didn't laugh once at all. And it tries to be a little bit witty. And don't get me wrong, Tropic Thunder had some good lines to it. But if you even peel back one layer of it, it's really not all that funny. And Men in Black 3, which was the worst Men in Black movie until Men in Black International came along. And this is much more Holmes and Watson as far as the humor hitting the goddamn floor and not getting back up. You got the character dynamic of, okay, can they get along before they, try to save the goddamn city? Of course, it's a bunch of simple stuff, and of course, everything turns out good in the end, or does it? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you'll find out in the spoiler section. Maybe they decide to have everybody blow up and just shatter kids' little dreams and everything, and shatter their little hearts. That's what you little shits get for having beliefs and everything. Have I made it clear the kids annoy me at all? Nevertheless, it just wasn't very good. Wasn't very good at all. The plot was very simple. The animation, I mean, I don't mind trying different styles. You got to try something. You can't make it look like a carbon copy. But this just looked very phoned in, and it just looked weird. It just looked odd. It kind of reminded me of the Scoob movie that came out a couple of years ago, as far as just having off-putting animation and style and character design. Voice acting's fine, but whatever. I mean, Craig Robinson, I don't really think is all that funny. In fact, I think he was the least funny out of everybody here. Sam Rockwell, he's come a long way from Clown House. If you know what Clown House is, yeah. Sam Rockwell's had an interesting career. I don't know who the fuck Aquafina is. Spelled with W's, by the way, for maximum stupidity. So I am going to get into spoilers here, but it is on the cock if you want to check it out, aka Peacock, for those of you that don't have the dirty mind that I do. You shouldn't have the dirty mind that I do. Nobody should. Yeah, let's just get into spoilers. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers now. Okay, so it turns out the governor was also a secret thief that had tried a heist, but it turned out that she wanted to use her powers and her skills for good. It also turns out that this whole charity thing was for this golden dolphin, not the golden key from Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland. That's a movie I need to retro review. And these bad guys, after doing this car chase that went on forever, for goddamn ever, they are all happy and everything, and it's all this narration stuff and winking at the camera and being all smart and witty, and it's not smart and witty. It's really fucking infuriating, actually. In fact, the more I think about it, the more I think I hate this movie. And then, while they tried to steal the golden dolphin, there was this point where Wolf rescues this old lady from falling. He's like, "Oh, you're such a good boy," and everything. And then, his tail wags because he's all happy because he's like, "I'm good. I never would have thought of myself as good." They steal the golden dolphin, but they get caught. And the chief of police, voiced by Alex Bornstein, who I will say has come a long way since being in Catwoman. Actually, she was in a bunch of movies before that. Zazie Beetz is in this, who's actually a pretty good actress. She's kind of nullified here as a governor. And Lily Singh is a reporter. There isn't a lot of firepower in this cast, in all honesty. But after they get captured, trying to steal this, charity award, Professor Marmalade, this adorable little guinea pig, basically says, "Hey, wait a second, I'm gonna turn them into good people." And then it turns out actually that all this idea of him having Wolf rescue a cat and them coming together right now over me, there was this thing about a meteor that crashed into the city about a year before, yet somehow it got completely rebuilt. They must have incredible funding and incredible construction crews that work around the damn clock to stop a meteor, or, to stop any traces of a meteor from basically being seen by the human eye. Except there is this one part of the meteorite where it has magnetic abilities. So Professor Marmalade has them rescue a bunch of guinea pigs from this lab. And of course there's this comedy with the snake swallowing them, because funny. Guinea pigs are weird creatures. They're adorable creatures. I just couldn't have one because they squeak way too damn much. I prefer pets that are a little bit quiet. Can't really do the guinea pig squeak. If you can, let me know in the comments. Do you have any guinea pigs? You can't share pictures, but let me know if you've ever had guinea pigs. So anyway, nevertheless, after rescuing the guinea pigs and after all this, it turns out, wait a second, oh no, this whole thing where they were actually going to do this plot and steal the meteorite, that doesn't work, and somebody else steals it. And it's the professor, because he's actually this bastard, and then he steals money from the charity that he had created, because he realizes, hey, I could just be this good person that actually really is bad, and then steal all this stuff, this $1 billion and everything, and interrupt any, medical expenses being paid off at the children's hospital and frustrate the children. Come on, you really shouldn't do that. I say just as I said, I really didn't care for children. Children still deserve life-saving medical techniques and procedures. So they have to team up, and then there's this whole thing where Snake goes away from them, and no, I can't do this. They get rescued by the governor. And then they go their separate ways. And then Snake is with Marmalade. Oh no, but then it actually turns out that it's not that Snake's actually with them. And this whole plot to take a fake, have the fake meteorite be part of the thing. Well, the real one gets blown up. And Chief of Police arrests them because that's her life's dream, because she has no other fucking dreams. And then they're reformed. And then they're with the governor, who's really a criminal and everything. And if it sounds like I'm not really explaining this plot very well, it's because this plot's just all... It's very simplified, but yet they just keep throwing, character motivations, and it's really, really stupid, and it's not very good. And the animation shit, and the cel-shadedness of it only hides the ineptitude of it a little bit. Doesn't hide it for very goddamn long, and it's one of the worst movies I've seen this year. So everybody works out, though. Everything's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Gets an F. The Bad Guys is really, really, really fucking bad. So anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ricklin. I'll see you soon.